What's up, everybody? Silver here with another Halo Spartan Strike Achievement Guide. This time we're doing Homing In, which is just complete Operation B, so straightforward enough. So start up Mission B1, the first mission, obviously. There are 6 missions in each operation, so we're going to be completing 6 missions today. You could see for this level, you could run by a lot of the enemies. I do have my pistol out because that is the best weapon to kill these enemies if I do decide to kill them. Or kill the grunts, rather, but most of this level is grunts. There are a handful of jackals and some elites as well, but it's mostly grunts. So you can run by most of them. You can see I'm using sprint when I can, and you want to destroy these 5 pylons, whatever they are. You got to blow them up. I think they're jamming traffic or something. I don't know what they're doing, but you got to blow them up. But just follow this path. It's pretty straightforward. There's markers on your radar. The large diamond red things are the things you got to take out. So for this one in particular, you got to destroy the dome, the energy dome around it. So you got to shoot those 3 exploding things, and they'll blow up, and that dome will disappear, and you could kill that one or blow that one up. And then you could get in this ghost and just blow through the level pretty much. You need to take down the dome shield for this as well, and then blow that up. You could easily, quickly blow that up with the ghost. And then you could just use the ghost to just speed by most of the enemies, which I'm going to do right here. And you could just drive by shooting of these pylons. And we have one left right up here. You can see I'm just totally ignoring the enemies for the most part. And we have destroyed all 5, and now we can just blow right through this level. We're going to go to the finish line, which is right up here. We got to go back a little bit towards the area where we picked up the ghost, but it's right here. And you can see I'm going to use sprint to sprint by these guys, and we are done with this level. So that one's pretty quick and straightforward. You don't have to pay attention to any of the enemies, really. But if it is giving you trouble, obviously you could take your time and just shoot and kill the enemies if you're having trouble running by them. But this level, you also get a ghost, which is nice. You could more quickly move through the level. And at this point, you got to actually kill everybody because you're clearing out the area in order to drop down a beacon from above. So you do unfortunately have to kill all the enemies here. You can't just blow through it like we did in that last level. But you do have a ghost, so it's fairly easy. If you are having trouble with any of these levels, not just Operation B, but any of the other levels, other operations, you could actually put on damage modifier or a damage booster rather, or a shield booster. And that helps you out in that way. Your shield recharges faster, and also your damage is increased if you put on the damage booster. You can only have on one at once, unfortunately. But you could also you could also buy different weapons, starting weapons, so you could get some power weapons to start if you're having trouble. But if not, then bravo, good job. But this part, you gotta destroy these fuel rod turrets, which you can see I'm doing with grenades for the most part. Also, the battle rifle does a good amount of damage on these turrets. I'm not sure why. It doesn't seem like it should be a weapon that devastates turrets, but it is for some reason in this game, which I'm not complaining about. It's just kind of odd, I thought. But just keep moving forward, and we're going to come upon a plasma shade turret, so we're going to hop in that in a second. It's right up ahead here, and we will be killing all the enemies with said turret in a second. Kill that elite first. And then hop in here, and you can kill all the enemies. There's a bunch of enemies that are going to come at you from the top right up there, where that shield door is. Also from the left side of the screen, you can see those suicide grunts coming at me. And also from the bottom of the screen as well, eventually. They're not coming at me right now, but they will soon. But just hang in this shade turret. Obviously prioritize the suicide grunts, because those could devastate your shade, and you want to be able to stay in this the whole time so you could easily take out all these enemies. Otherwise, if you let the suicide grunts hit you a few times, not too many times though, your shade turret will obviously blow up, and then you won't be able to use it. You could hijack some of these ghosts if you do end up getting blown up out of your shade, but you know, just don't do that. I guess the ghost would be an alternate plan. And you can see the 3rd beacon has dropped, and we move to this point, and that cues this kind of panning cutscene. It's not really a cutscene at all. It's just the, the camera pans over that way, and it's very mysterious, and you're like, oh my god, what's happening? But we go over here, and you can see I sprinted. I'm going to sprint as much as I can in this because I have a sprint armor ability, obviously, and you can run by all of these enemies, especially that elite who is cloaked, and he has a sword, but, you know, he doesn't have a gun, so it's kind of hard for him to hit us if we're just running away from him. So you can see I'm just sprinting through here. There's another elite, but I'm just totally ignoring him. Ignoring all of these enemies. Just follow this path. It's pretty easy to do. Just run by all these enemies. Running, running, running. We're training for the summer. We're trying to get that beach bod going. We're trying to burn some fat here. So you get to this point, and then you want to go up top here and get in this turret. And we're going to do the same thing we did at the end of the last level, which is just hang out in this turret. People are going to come at you from more sides this time. They're going to come at you from over the cliff there. You can see buggers fly up and over and come at you. From the left, there's also enemies that come at you from the bottom right of the screen. You can see I'm shooting down there now. There's also that spirit, which drops off enemies in the top left area. You can see just happened. And also enemies spawn from the right side, which they are not right now. But you can see they're going to probably eventually at some point come through. Maybe. But they did earlier. I don't know if any more will come in, but... And also there's a drop pod that Elite had to, you know, enter in style. And there's another one, a second one. There's a third one. There's an Elite coming from the right. I told you there's enemies over there. But you could see probably at this point, if you sprinted past all the enemies, or most of the enemies in this level, you could see some contacts on your radar. The smaller contacts are enemies you ran past, and you don't need to kill them, which I don't realize. I'm trying to shoot over there to kill that one enemy on my radar. But you only have to kill the large red contacts in this area to end the level. So you can see I don't understand that at this point. I'm just still trying to shoot over there. But I'm going to hop out of my turret. There's only like 2 enemies left, so I figure I'll just, you know, do it the old-fashioned style. One shot at the buggers for the win, and then just hang out over here to cue the end of the level. So we're moving on to the next level, where you get this nifty wraith, and this is gonna make it like way easier to run through the level. Not that it wasn't, you know, pretty easy to begin with when we sprinted by everybody, but this is gonna make it really easy. We just drive over everybody. So you can see I killed all those enemies with one blast. This point, you actually have to get out of your wraith because you can't get in there where you need to go to lower these. Whatever I don't even know what they are. They're like a barricade of some kind that Forerunners installed or something. I don't even know. But we got to blow up these spheres of light to get them to go down. These bad boys right here. So this is the only point that you got to get out of your wraith, pretty much, to go explode that on foot or blow it up on foot. And then just hop back in your wraith, and you could ignore all these enemies. You can see I'm just going to drive this way. And we do need to, try to avoid getting hit by the suicide grunts, obviously, because that could damage your wraith significantly. But otherwise, you could ignore all the enemies. Oh, boy. But, you know, take this out as quickly as you can, and that way you can just ignore all of the reinforcements coming from below there, and just wrap around, cut in here, and you can see we're ignoring all these guys, like I mentioned, and we're just going to go right past all of these people. I want to kind of pay attention to the ghosts a little bit, but you can see I'm just still moving towards the end of the level while I'm shooting at them. So, and here we are at the end of the level. We need to blow up this final sphere of light to, you know, lower these Forerunner barricades, whatever they're called. And you have to get out of the wraith at this point. You can't cross the bridge. One tiny Forerunner barricade remains, so it doesn't allow you to get across. I don't think you can get across anyway. The bridge seems too narrow for a vehicle. Maybe it's preventing a ghost getting across, not the wraith. So, yeah. But here we go. The next level. This is our first sighting of Prometheans in the Spartan Strike game right here. You're kind of cornered in here with this one Promethean knight, so it's kind of like a old school gladiator fight or something. But you want to grab his teleportation armor ability, which you can see I just did. Now it's charging. I like to use the suppressor and magnum in this level because there's a ton of suppressor ammo and it works really well against all the crawlers you'll be dealing with. And crawlers only have, well, not only, but in this level they only have suppressors, so you'll have plenty of ammo lying around for that suppressor. At this point, though, I'm just standing on this platform. You need to stand on 3 of these platforms and charge them up. You can see it's charging in that circular fashion. Kind of a, you know what I'm talking about. There we go. It's full now, and it's active. So we're going to run to the next point. There are 3 of these again, like I said. And here's the second one. Just stand on it and just try to one-shot all of the crawlers as they come at you. And once you're out of magnum ammo, you could change to your suppressor. But this takes them out pretty quickly. They're all one-shot hits or one-shot kills, so pretty easy. But if you do end up losing your shield and you're in danger of dying, you could actually hit teleportation, and that will disallow. You can see I'm doing it right there. That will stop the enemies from shooting at you. You can see the crawlers still seem to know where I am, even though I'm teleporting, which is very weird. None of the other enemies will follow you like this, so I'm not sure why they are kind of in tune with where you are when you're teleporting. But teleporting does 2 things. When you're teleporting, you could actually still continue to charge these platforms up, which is kind of weird, but awesome, because the enemies will stop shooting you. And also teleportation, you can see I'm going to use it again right here. It also allows you to get your shield back up, because teleportation lasts longer than it takes for your shield to start recharging and recharge entirely. So that's pretty cool. But you do want to try to avoid using it as much as you can. You could use it, once or twice, or more than that if it's taking you longer. But just the reason I say that is because you don't want to rely on it too heavily, because it takes a while to recharge, so you can't just keep teleporting and, hope that will save you. So, try to survive as long as possible, and if you do need to use it, then that's fine. But just be aware that it does need to recharge after you use it. So now we have to just survive, basically, now that we've activated these 3 platforms. And we just are basically going to run in a circle. And you can see the countdown on the top of the screen showing us how long we have to survive. And you want to finish right about here. When it hits 0, just be at that bridge. It'll activate, and you could just cut in between those Promethean Knights and just go across the bridge. You can see I acted teleportation, which is unnecessary, but I figured better to be safe than sorry, and just finish the level that way. So we are at this point, the last level in this operation. Just grab this Kestrel, and again, with the suicide grunts, you want to avoid running those guys over, because obviously, once you kill them, their grenades will explode, and it will significantly damage your vehicle, like I just did right there. Very good. Don't do that. Do as I say, not as I do. But another thing you want to be aware of is the fact that these rounds that the Kestrel shoots are explosive, so there is splash damage. So if you shoot somebody or something that's right in front of you, it could damage you if you're close enough to it. So just don't, shoot things directly in front of you. Whether it's an enemy or a piece of geometry, you could just run over these people. You could see I'm just running into people rather than shooting them for the most part. Obviously, the suicide grunts you should kill with the guns, but just stay at a distance so you don't hurt yourself with the splash damage. So we gotta survive this point. That's why I'm just kind of driving in circles. It's fairly easy since you could just run over everybody. And you could take out these focused turrets if you'd like. You can see they're kind of taking shots at me as I go in circles. I feel I don't really need to, but if you want to, then that's fine. Totally fine. I'm not worried about getting points. Again, this guide is for completion, not for getting gold stars. I do have gold star guides out if you are in need of help for that, but these are just completion, the fastest, easiest ways to complete these levels and get that Operation B homing in achievement. So you can see the timer ran out, so these barricades, 400 barricades went down, and I switched out for this fresh Kestrel. Not that you really need it, because you have to get out right now anyway. But, whatever. So hop out here. This is the point where you can't continue on in the Kestrel, unfortunately. And we're going to do a little bit of an exploit here. Grab this battle rifle. You don't really need it. We're just going to stand right here the entire time, and nobody will come and bother you. And you have to hold out for like 2.5 minutes or so. But just stand here the entire time. I'm going to cut ahead because you don't have to watch me stand here the entire time. The only 2 enemies that will come down are those 2 elites you could see. I just faded ahead in the video. But those 2 elites will come down in drop pods, and you just throw a grenade at them and kill them, and that's the only 2 enemies you'll have to deal with through this entire thing. And once the time runs out, you can see I just ran up here to finish the level, and again, you can just sprint by all these enemies. I do have teleportation. That is the default armor ability in this, so if you are having trouble, again, you could use it in a defensive way to get your shield back up while you're teleporting. Or you could just use it at the end there to get by all those enemies, which makes it even more easy. But that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Click like and subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you later for more.